Hey everybody, it's Doc. I smell like vinegar because I just poured it on myself. But anyway, we're talking about primers today. We're going to be covering that Rimfire cartridges, or those Rimfire cartridges again. We're going to cover those Bennett-based primers. We're going to cover those Centerfire balloon, semi-balloon. We're going to cover those modern solid head and web-named cartridges. Correction, primers. Anyway, we go to the first slide. We got our beloved Rimfire cartridge. Now, if you look at the background image, you're going to see that all of these cartridges, they are rimmed. All right. So the special thing about these rim cartridges is that they are rim fired. Now, if we look at the image on the top left, to the left cartridge, we're going to notice that the primer is sitting in that rim itself, compared to the Centerfire cartridge on the right. All right. So we see how it says it crushes the rim. So when that rim is crushed, it detonates that pressure-based explosive, which is the purpose of that primer, that starts that chain reaction inside the round that ignites the main powder charge. All right. And then obviously the powder charge builds up that quantity of energy, thus propels the barrel or the bullet down the barrel. All right. Now, we're going to swing to the next slide to where we got our Bennett Primer. All right. A common style of primer used by the U.S. military in the late 1860s, designed by United States Army Colonel S.V. Bennett, all right, commander of Frankfurt Arsenal around the late 1860s. It was widely used by the U.S. military, and it was helpful due to the copper or iron cup that was held in the head of the case. By being crimped, it was used to serve as the anvil for the firing pin, and detonated the primer mixture and reinforced the head. So it helped to aid in the prevention of over-penetration of that primer, and that is when that firing pin decides to be a little bit more antsy and pokes through that primer. All right, I seen a rifle over-penetrate its primer and just spilt powder all over the gun, and the guy had to sit there on the range and try to scrub all that powder out, because the next time he would have fired it, all that powder would have decided to be happy and burn all over the place. All right, careful with that. Now for the next one, we have our folded head semi-ballooned. All right, it is an early method of case design in which the base of the folded to form the rim of the primer pocket. So if we look at the poorly rendered image on the right, we see how it generally has a straight shot through. Well, if we look at the image on the left, it's semi-folded, has that little bit of a dent, a little bit of a curve. There's your folded head semi-ballooned. There we go, everybody. Now we have our modern solid head. All right. This is the cartridge, or this is the design for primers of many of today's cartridges. If we look at the lovely 8-bit image on the right side of the screen, we see where that cylindrical primer will be set and sitting. We see that nice little gap or hole to where that explosive energy of that primer detonating sends through, ignites the powder inside the case, and thus builds up energy and pushes that beloved bullet down the barrel and lets the gun do gun things. Before we get to the any question part, I'd like to demonstrate the factor of, if your primers look like that, you've been storing them wrong. I came across an old box of primers I had sitting under the table, looked at them, and I don't feel comfortable putting them in anything. And on the left, we have a nice convenient picture of several different kinds of modern style primers, spanning from 223, 308, 4570, and 50 cal government grade. Any questions? If you have a question, feel free to ask in the comments. Let's see if anybody else would like to reply. And also, if you want to start learning the stuff I'm covering inside these videos, take a look at Sonoran Desert Institute. All right, it's where right now I'm working on my associate's degree in gunsmithing. Hope you guys have a nice day, and goodbye.
Welcome to destruction. No,